So earlier this week, Beyonce, Texas Hold'em. Is it country? Is it not? Well, guess what? It don't really fucking matter what you think it is. It is officially allowed to be on the Billboard Hot Country charts. So it's a country song. And it finds itself debuting at #1. She becomes just the second female to debut atop the Hot Country chart. And furthermore, she's the first black woman to have a #1 on this chart. But interestingly enough, there's more to this story. I'm not shocked that Beyonce is at #1, but I'm more shocked that only 2 females have debuted atop the Hot Country Songs chart in 60 years. Yes, people, 60. So I had to go and do my research because I was like, wait a minute, hold up. We got some great women in country. Let's talk about the history of the country charts, where this chart started in 1948. And for a decade, it was only getting its data from the jukebox. Now, I wasn't born. I wasn't even a twinkle in my daddy's eye. I wasn't even sperm in his nutsack because he wasn't even born. This chart predates me and my father. But that's how they got the music data. Now, was it accurate? I don't know. Did they get it through horse and mule? Did they get it through a telegram? I don't know. But that's how they was tracking it. Then they started tracking for another decade by just the radio stations. Then they saw the introduction of the Nissan SoundScan, which might made it a little bit more accurate. But the biggest issue, and it's not really an issue, but the biggest domino effect was in 2012 when the all-genre Billboard Hot 100 changed its methodology, which then was incorporated by all the genre charts to include the country charts. And so from 2012 on forward, the way that you chart on the Hot Country Songs chart is the same way that they chart on the Hot 100. So yes, to debut at #1, you have to have a strong fan base and a crossover hit. So how will you stream and get your track downloaded along with on the radio is how you will perform on this chart. The downside to the 2012 tricks change is that if your album performs really well on the Billboard 200 and streams and downloads are popping, you will chart on the Hot 100 most of your singles, if not all of them. And the domino effect to that is if they land on the Hot Country chart, you are ineligible to debut again. So the methodology is actually hindering artists from getting a Hot Country Songs debut. But don't get that twisted. Women are not making leeway on this chart because that's not true. In retrospect, males have been dominating not only just country, but music industry to all in all. So when you look at country artists that have 20 or more #1 songs on the chart, you only find 3 women, along with 14 men. So yes, is there an imbalance among the men and the women? Absolutely. Is this common across most genres? Absolutely. And let's highlight these women that have landed with more than 20 singles at #1 have been Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire, and Tammy Wynette. Dolly has 25, Reba has 24, and Tammy has 20. Even Miss Carrie Underwood has 14 on this chart. On the country airplay charts, this is where it gets interesting. Where in 2020, women have started to chart more on the country airplay charts. So that is definitely a benefit. because prior to that, it wasn't looking good for the females, but they have yet to recover. But the change or the dramatic difference between the country hot songs and the country airplays are amazing. Let's break down some of these interesting numbers. So Carrie, who has 14 number ones on the hot country songs chart, has 16 on the airplay chart. While she finds success on both charts, some other people are not so lucky. Luke Combs, who finds himself with 16 hot country airplay entries at number one, only has 6 on the hot country songs chart. Shelton, who either has 27 or 28, depending on the source that you use, hot country airplay number ones on the hot country song chart, he only has 14. One of the biggest differences is with George Strait. George Strait has 44 number ones on the hot country songs chart. But when you look at the hot country airplay charts, George Strait only got 26. As y'all can tell, you got to have some crossover appeal. Whether they listen to you or not on the radio, you can still make success if you have a following. So for country artists, definitely the women, reach out, social media, link up, go to events, make friends with the pop stars. Just up your social media following so that when you release music, your fan base along with your supporters will know and you can make way. Don't be discouraged. Chart, do your thing because it's happening. Women are charting. Regardless, it's still a male dominant industry. Women, break the glass, bound together because you got supporters and we are standing by to support. Thank you for watching Justaboiandhiscamera, taking you down history lane of the country charts and briefly describing the reasoning behind why we see only 2 women debuting atop the hot country songs chart after 60 years.